Life is pain. Oblivion alone yields peace. You call me stranger. I call myself salvation.
The love of a god is not a blessing, it's a scar.
If destiny herself beckons me, then I shall greet her like an old lover.
There's gotta be more to life than making mistakes and making up for your mistakes.
I'm the paragon of risk and reward, behaving as more of a suggestion.
Fate is an offer I intend to reject.
You don't know me. I'm unpredictable, bitch.
I don't need to be a paragon to help save the world.
I came back for a reason, and I am not stopping until I find it.
I will solve the cataclysm, and I'll solve the mystery of myself, too. 4 paragons, 4 keepers, 1 stranger. Huh. Odds are in our favor. Now let's go save Endake. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Arc 6, Episode 15 of Transplanar, the Second Stranger. I am your GM and creative producer, Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me all across the internet at ByConnieChang. That's ByConniechang. I'm going to pass along introductions up and over to Quinn.
Hi, hello, I'm Quinn. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on Twitter at Quintastic_. That's 3 N's and an underscore. I'm a tabletop designer, sensitivity reader, actual play performer. Check me out. I do things and stuff, and also things. Today I will be playing Sitlali, who uses they, she pronouns, your local grave cleric and paladin of the weave, who has never done anything wrong in their entire life. And I'm going to pass intros down to Valiant Dorian.
Hi, I am Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am a TTRPG performer and Twitch Friday streamer. You can find me on the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Otsospirpa. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just sent you on. And I have the distinct pleasure of playing Voska, the Paragon Nebuza, our college at Sea Bard, who is dealing with things and uses she, they pronouns in these difficult times. Sometimes you lose things. I'm going to pass introductions over to Max.
Hey, I'm Max. My pronouns are they, them. I play Dewey Quirk, who's also quite familiar with losing things. You can find me, Max, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Starchmonger. And I'll pass things to C.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay, or on the internet at PieSharpArt. You can also find me right here today playing Oka, Paragon to be Hien. I'm really nervous. Everything's going to be fine. But otherwise, you can find our sponsor over at Demetrio Pines and Explain Trade on Twitter. We are sponsored. We are so very proudly sponsored by Demetrio Pines and Explain Trade over on Twitter. And if you don't know who they are, let me tell you who they are. They are a negotiation skills training consultancy believing in the power of D&D and Transplanar's potential to grow, tell great stories, and lift up our communities. Explain Trade trains negotiators for governments, big companies, NGOs, and offers e-learning courses for individuals looking to get a better deal from their boss. Level up and become a paragon over at explaintrade.com. That's actually the whole secret to this entire show. Is that we got Oka just has to, get trained to be a government negotiator, and then it'll all work out fine. Max, who else should we thank for getting us to this point? Other paragons, perhaps.
We love our Patreon paragons. Those are people pledged to our Patreon at our highest tier. And those people are Azra, Bradley, Brooke Bright, Charles, Chiakres, Cora Eckert, Emma, Hat, Kinding, Lex Slater, Marvelous, Purple Mouse, Scruffles, and Target. Thank you so much. Your support means the world to us. And now for what the hell happened last time, Quinn? Please tell me.
God, what didn't happen, Max? Last time on The Second Stranger, the party prepares to fight the aspect of the stranger. No big deal, just a day in the life, totally normal. They complete one final loop, preparing spells and weapons for the fight of their lives. The aspect arrives, all wings and eyes, painted in a different reality, encroaching on the now. Motherfucker. Oka, Vaska, Sitlali, Dewey, Mercy, Dr. Eluso, and Jukai launch into battle, trading blows with the frighteningly powerful aspect. Dewey nearly loses Dusty, but is able to gather him into the god jar at the last moment. Vaska's Zither, her last reminder of Atalanta, is ripped from them and she falls into grief. Sin comes to Sitlali in this moment of great peril, and they become Keeper of Sin to help the party. Dr. Eluso is unharmed by the aspect. Everyone check your bingo cards, please. Despite their efforts, the party is backed into a corner as the aspect begins to remake itself out of nothing. But not before the past paragons come through Shuhai's portal to help them out. Together, they're able to pull back most of the aspect, and Oka reaches out for Sen. Use !recap in chat to reach our written document for a full recap. And I will pass things down to Val to read and explain, I'm sorry, I'm not asking you to do analysis on live twitter.com. We're not on Twitter. We're on, stop talking, Quinn. Stop talking, Quinn. Val, what's the title? Tell us about it.
I got you. The titles of our episodes come from Martial Writer's False Stripes. Today's title is Halos That Flame in Cold Rain, from The Branch Won't Survive by Molly Weigel. The full verse reads, Aspen catkins, surely temple curls anew, I guess, this delayed spring dangling sere and old over water, and broken maple branches hang down, still red and budding. A petal slides back like the hatch of a spacecraft. Bunched inside are hairs, the control center, living quarters for the crew, a docking station. The ducks are back, faded ruddies tip over and vanish. I unfocus my gaze. They resurface somewhere else. The module will fall away, burning on re-entry, leaving only a cone bobbing in the water. The branch that won't survive will offer bristly pink halos that flame cold in cold rain.
Thank you so much for that, Val. Ooh, I'm so excited. This is the final episode of Arc 6 for the Jukai crew. Oh my goodness. Ugh, all the feels. Oh, for the last time for the Jukai crew, for the Second Stranger, here are your content warnings for this episode and this campaign in general. They may include fantasy violence, body horror, gore, blood and bloodletting, apocalypse, trauma and grief, familial struggles, complex and complicated relationships, romance, references to sexual entanglement, death of loved ones, eye gore, and disreality. Use !CW for a full list of content warnings at any time, and !safety for a look at the cast's lines and veils to know what territory we'll never cross into no matter how dark things get. So, with that out of the way, are we ready, crew? Are we ready to hop aboard the train to Trauma Town, my good homosexuals? I'm the number one dad. I need one that says number one GM. Okay, let's begin. Vertigo. Heat. The sweltering rush of breeze. Stampede. Midnight. Light. Traveling 1,000 pistons a second, funneling through time like a sieve. Pain. Gorgeous, refractive, a disobedient reflection pulling faces. Roots. A seed, new growth, sprouting tender and green, arms splayed to drink the sun. Breath, frothing through thought, whirling, spinning, fruitful eddies of soul cascading past your eyes like a dream. Sen, the god of change, the goddess of nature, the deity of time, which is life, which is difference. Their presence aches inside your ribcage like a bruise from a clenched fist or a lover's mouth. It pulses, wrenches, heaves like the ocean, like grief. Oka, you see your own back, rigid like a diamond. You're walking through endless white space. Your destination doesn't matter. What matters is you're leaving. Clustered on the other edge of this expanse, you see your mother, your sisters. Yaya and Liangya are crying. Toya's face is void. And your mother looks so small, so frail. You also see Mercy, Jiran, Gentle, Sitlali, Ravi. Everyone you've ever left, their lives forever changed by your presence, your absence. Why?
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 Why? What? Huh?
Why did you leave?
I had to. I had no other choice.
Why?
Where are you?
A fox. A rabbit. Split down the middle, its face ever changing, a hologram in a glitch. Sen appears before you, tail curving its body into existence, head cocked. What if you didn't have to leave?
I don't understand. I've already gone.
Angshan Zhidi says destiny is a river whose course cannot be altered. But look around you. We change fate every day.
Not this one, right?
Why not?
I have no other choice.
You are telling the god of change there is no other choice? There is always another choice, Oka.
I don't know how to turn around. I've already left them. I've already walked so far.
One of them is gone. That much is true. And you see Ravi's form sort of turn translucent, and I think, like, start to wither off. But her silhouette remains. She's still hanging there. Her ghost clings to your memory, still sits heavy in your soul. But even the ones that are gone aren't really gone. Not forever. And the rest are still here. You can still turn around.
Don't I do... I would doom them. I would doom all of us if I turned around.
Joy does not last forever. But neither does pain. You can leave the ones you love to protect them, and let the course of destiny wash you away. Or you can change. Not just yourself, Oka, but the world. Fate. Don't you think we owe it to the ones we love to try? Why is fighting for your heart doom?
I don't know. I haven't had hope in a long time.
You don't have to have hope, Oka. Because you are hope. You are their hope. You are your sister's hope. You are your mother's hope. Your friend's hope. Your lover's hope. You are Ndake's hope.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that we can choose to change fate. Or at the very least, try. Don't you want to try? Don't you want this to change? Don't you want to turn around?
I do. I do. Can you help me? Please?
Yes. Yes, I can. And I know someone else who might be able to help you, too. Hold on. This next part is never easy. And then Oka, crimson, wipes away all of this white. And you realize what this red is. It's a sky. Eyes span the horizon in endless entropy, wings bristling with white light, and it, that thing, that stranger, taller than the world, radiating vacuous energy like the bottom of a black hole. The ground around you laces into existence, trembling with death and blood. Your armies lie wasted. There is a gash in the earth, an immaculate wound carving the realms open from north to south. It did this. The 8 of you stand on the cusp of this chasm, overlooking infinite carnage. There is Ying, golden and cunning, a card twirling between their fingers, Carvach, thunderous, broad, sunshot, strung and ready to fire, Ikaika, tempest aloft, brow set, Juan, their eye on their throat open, omen humming, Jinka, parable twirling, gaze fixed, Pascal, grim, shining in their feathered hands, Bazul, blood running down her face in rivers, sunder gleaming, and Shuhai. A disc, a circle, a halo, a wheel spinning in their chest, black and white and every color. Time here is slow. So slow that when Shuhai turns their head to meet your gaze, Oka, it feels like everything around you has stopped. And it's just you and Shuhai who can move, who can see each other. You're looking out of sorts?
What? So are you. What am I? What is this? This is the nightmare again. Why did you bring me here?
Your nightmare. My reality. This is it, Oka. This is the battle I was taken from. When I give you Prism, when you're ready to accept Sen into your soul, this vision will collapse. I'll return to my time, and you'll become Paragon in yours.
How do I know if I'm ready?
You don't. You just have to go.
I want it to be different, Shuhai. I don't want this for us. I don't want this for you, but you're too far. You're too far in the past, but I don't want this for us. I want something else.
Oka. Never tell anyone I said this, but I was wrong about you. You're worthy. I can feel it. Sen can feel it. Oka. And they take a step toward you. What makes us true paragons isn't being chosen by fate. It's rising to the choice. It's proving destiny right and wrong. I'm not about to go down without a fight, and neither are you. Give me your hand. And Shuhai reaches out their fingers toward you.
And I think before Oka even knows what they're doing, their fingers are also rising like in a mirror version of Shuhai's.
At the exact same time. I love it. When you touch, your fingertips merge. Like reflections in a mirror coming together from alternate dimensions. And in that moment, Oka, you feel linked. Not just to the past, not just to Shuhai, but to your own soul. And you understand intimately, immediately that Shuhai's soul is your soul, is Makoya's, is Oka's, is yours. And I think when Shuhai raises their other hand toward the sky, 4 fingers curving in, an index finger pointing toward the horizon, I think your opposite arm does the exact same thing. And I think you realize instinctually on an atomic level what Shuhai is trying to show you. Oka, this will be the last time you have this vision. Do you understand me? You and the rest of your other paragons. This nightmare. Once I go back, once this loop ends, once I return, there will be nothing stopping the stranger from coming into your world. Do you understand that? It could come at any time, and you need to be ready.
We're ready. We are.
You are the final paragon, Oka. And there is something I need to show you before you leave. You see that over there? And they extend their finger out toward the sky. On the horizon. And they point at something in the far, far distance, folded between columns of bristling wings, the tessellated patterns of ever-roving eyes. You see what looks to be a speck, an inconsistency, an aberration. Make a perception check with advantage.
Unnatural 20.
Oka, I think it has a body, a true form, a heartless heart. We were never able to hit it. Not really. It was here and then gone, and by the time we figure this out, Oka, it's too late for us. It leaves. But you can do it. You can break its heart.
I can. I will. We will.
Good. Then one more thing before we say goodbye. You can feel what I'm trying to do, or can't you? And Shuhai is starting to splay their fingers open on their opposite hand, right? And they're like angling their arms so it goes directly above their head. And I think your opposite arm does the same thing, like they're both reaching toward the sky directly above the chasm. And I think in that moment, atomically, you understand what Shuhai is trying to do. And as both of you lift your arms up, and I think in like inverted motion, it's like you're prying something apart with like the two of your opposite arms going up, like your hands drift in diametrically opposed directions, and in the sky we see a parcel of that crimson parting and a star forming. Okay, Oka. And you can feel this vision starting to destabilize, right? You can see time starting to move again. You see like Ikaika starting to surge forward. You see Omen starting to ripple, like the strings of the Gutian starting to vibrate, like time is speeding up and Shuhai is leaving you. Like the point of connection between your interlocked fingers are starting to warp away from each other. Oka, take Prism and take Sen.
Thank you. And Oka... Why am I crying? What is happening? Oka surges forward and hugs Shuhai as tight as they can.
And as you hug, that halo in Shuhai's chest spins and spins and spins and joins the two of your souls together, lacing forward towards your sternum, floating towards you, enters your body. And what happens next?
It's like before when time falls apart and this just kind of melts away back into that empty space where they had been just a second ago walking. Weren't they? They were just walking. They don't quite know where they were walking to. And they pause and the loose hair behind their head starts to pull itself back, each strand pulling one over the other, over the other, over the other, as their hair starts to braid itself. And they get swallowed up by light as they have their magical girl transformation. Magical girl is an ungendered term. It's a magical girl transformation. As their hair, which was again like kind of flowing out around them, pulls itself back into a perfect long whip-like braid that brushes the end of the ground. Tight, perfect, beautiful, immaculate. And their clothes kind of shift over their skin, over their body, these long black and blue robes shimmering into existence up from the ground, this long talberd, these thin strands of inky darkness and silver thread knitting themselves together over their body. And out of their sternum, silver-plated bone begins to form like a rib cage on the outside of their body, somewhere between a corset and a breastplate. The bone turned completely silver, thick and beautiful. Beneath that, the silver gorget with blue gems hanging off of the ends, forming a window with a black cloth underneath to reveal that perfect collapse of scar tissue at the center of their chest, the bright scarring under their pectoral muscles. And then suddenly, in a burst of blood and bone and feather, wings, 4 of them, 2 from each side, some from the bottom of their rib cage out, 2 new, smaller wings, 4 in total. Beat once, stretch, expand, endless, 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 endless. And that disc pressed into their chest rises up behind their head, pulled in and out and through them, blood, a halo of blood. Ever-changing, never-ending, 8 concentric circles like clockwork pieces formed behind their head, turning, 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 the liquid flowing like the river of fate. 8 perfect halos in one. And Oka closes their eyes and lets Sen in.
Fuck! Oh my god. And Oka, the last thing you hear and feel as you close your eyes is Jukai speaking to you, their voice layered over with Sen's. If you can change, Oka, then anything can. And when you open your eyes again, there is a blinding, multicolored whirlwind of light that then fades. And then Sitlali, Voska, and Dewey, in the center of the sky, we see Oka Hien, paragon of Sen, floating above the crumbled pagoda like a ray of hope, crystallized in humanoid form. And Oka, from your brilliant vantage point, you see Kinongbo, all of it, sprawling in thick steps of green and shadow. You see something else, too. Jukai had mentioned the chaos of timelines cohering, and now that they're gone, back in their past, you see it. Trees flitting, glitching between seasons, bare branches sprouting, leaves, canopies blooming, ice melting. The very sky around all of you begins to pulse. Brightening, dimming, a montage of 320 days flashing past in heartbeats. The weather clenches, rain pours suddenly with no warning, drenching the earth, and then stops. And then light shines, heat beams down, a gale force wind blows, then dies, over and over and over under the flashing light of this unstable sky. And amidst all this chaos, Oka, amidst all of this panic and conundrum, the final, thrumming, swirling vestige of the aspect, blankets the horizon behind you. Its massive central eye with its star-shaped pupil fanning out is fixed not on the flashing lights, not on the grass growing and withering and growing and withering, but on you. Oka, what do?
Oka, I don't even think they're flying. I think they're just kind of hovering there, and they let themselves be lowered to the ground gently, gently, gently. This kind of like little gust of wind puffing up on the dirt as they step one foot, then another on the ground. Focused. Whole. And they look at the aspect, and they say quietly, just to themselves, in another time, but not this one. And I want to find a pinpoint on the connection of their blood tether that they have in the aspect. And I want to spin that baby back to its timeline. Like a black hole pinpoint, suck it back through time and space and close Jukai's portal.
You fucking do it. The star-shaped pupil starts to spin, and at first it's almost like it's looking in every direction, but then you realize it's trying to escape from the own tethers of its outline, but it can't, as I think you just sort of focus upon it, and we see, like, almost imperceptible, a tiny void black hole warping open in the depths of its crimson murk, just spinning, spinning, spinning like the eye of a storm, and the pupil starts to rotate around it, caught within its gravitational force. Like, the pupil swirls, and you see the outlines of red collapse inward, like literally like it's imploding and folding in on itself. And as we see bits of its outlines get dragged in, like paint swirling down a sink, the last thing to go is that star-shaped pupil that like vibrates and vibrates. It like pulls forward, actually, and we see, like, from like a profile view, that star pupil shoot down, I think, from the horizon toward you, like it's elongating out of a television screen, and it's like trying to get to your face, but it's like being sucked backward at the exact same time. There's a moment where I think this massive star, the size of a small planetary body, is, I think, in front of you, dwarfing, looking down upon you, casting a massive vacuous shadow upon your face. And what is the last thing you say to it before it's sucked back to its own time?
I think that halo of blood, all of these like circles are spinning in the same like rotation as the like black hole is at the same time as it's getting sucked away, sucked away, sucked away. And I think it's almost like creaking, like it's pulling on itself. And then it finally clicks into place, and Oka just mutters, "Get fucked."
It rubber bands back toward the sky and vanishes. Like, the sky twists concentrically, and then the crimson is no more. It's all gone. And when this final piece of the aspect, I think, disappears, inverts upon itself in a flutter of entropic dust, at the exact same time, all of you feel a sensation like vertigo, fluttering, breathless, a jerk of your hearts down into your stomachs, and then you are here, fully, in the now, the present. Oka, you feel it intuitively. You know the exact time. It's 4:06 AT, 2:32 AM, Bear 34. Darkness stabilizes over the entire sky, and the weather at last decides on winter. The final straggling leaves of autumn tremble toward ice-packed earth. I think it drifts past your visage, Oka, these autumn leaves turning into winter petals that just cake the ground around your feet. And your eyes, Oka, are the first ones, I think, that we see. One is pure blue with two pupils. And what does the other look like?
Oka turns, I think, this like all settling down on them. They pivot back to face everyone else, and they open their eyes. They have both of their eyes. It's the same for the last time. Because the next time they blink, they open their eyes. One of their eyes is humanoid, blue with a little bit of inkling brown in it. And they blink again, and then it's pink. And they blink again, and it's a bird-like eye, yellow, bright, like a pigeon. They blink again, and a serpentine eye, the brightest blue. They blink again. A cat's eye. Blink again. One familiar golden eye. They blink again. And every time they blink, they are wearing someone else's eye.
That is dope as fuck. Oh god, and Oka, as you turn to face the rest of your friends and you blink, I think your gaze, before any of you can say anything actually, I think your gaze is attracted to something on the western horizon. It's just darkness, right? The cataclysm has happened. Kinongbo has caught up with the actual timeline. It is back to 406 AT. The stars are gone. The stars are gone? There is a star. A single star in the sky on the western horizon, shining directly above where you and Shuhai wrenched open a piece of the atmosphere in your vision, directly above a part of the Euclid chasm.
And Oka kind of stands there for a moment. And I think as time kind of finally clicks back into the place, they turn and their eyes like fall and catch each person. The ground around them, the snow kind of melts, and then these little sprouts kind of come up, grow up their legs for half a moment before they turn orange, wither, and die. And from that soil where they stand, another few sprouts come up in this constant cycle. I think we did it.
Have a question. Did we just speed run through time, all of us?
Yep.
Have we changed physically?
Oh, I'll let you all decide. I think it's more interesting if you did, actually. It's like a year passes on your bodies, let's say.
Bosca's hair is longer.
Mommy?
Oh my god!
If it wouldn't fuck up the overlay, I would leave this call. I will leave this call.
Oh my. Yeah, real mommy energy happening up in here. Her hair, that the undercut's still there. It hasn't grown out fully. It's still significantly shorter from the rest of her hair, but the top has grown longer, closer to the length of her neck. As this white hair tinged in flecks of snow is longer, and now the iciness is more visible because the hair is indeed more visible. And I think she looks at you, Oka, and she says, "You did it. Paragon ship looks fine on you."
I feel kind of heavy. Like there's some kind of weight in my chest.
You will get used to it, I promise.
And Oka surges forward and hugs the person closest to them.
Oka, you surge forward and you throw your arms around Dr. Eluso. Oka, congratulations! I'm so proud. You did it. You. And Oka, when your eyes flick up to look into Hitsageten's face, you see that a year has passed for them as well. Their hair is brown now. Dark brown. It's still, I think, like the same length, interestingly enough, but it's like the brown that's like started at their roots and tinted all the way down has like expanded. And their eyes are also brown. They're not blue anymore. They're a dark brown.
Your hair.
Your hair. It's braided. It looks great. Did you do that while you were in the light? It's magical. Yes, of course. But,
Your hair is brown again. Fully brown again. It looks good.
Oh, thank you. And they like sort of flick their wrists and conjure up a mirror, like a flat blue surface, and they look at themselves. Oh, my eyes. Well, I guess it has technically been a year that I've spent away from the chasm. Will you look at that? I guess we've both changed. I guess all of us have changed.
And Oka's eyes move over to like Mercy and Sitlali. And they also just kind of come like full speed ahead, no bars holds, and like practically pick Sitlali up in a huge hug. And like spin her once, at least.
Sitlali is tall again. Sitlali gets to be fucking more than 5'2". Nothing wrong with being 5'2". They are 6 foot? 6 foot. And it's unclear if the change is, they still have all of the keeper change, I think, but on top of that, it's hard to tell if it's the changeling gender euphoria of it all or time, but both sides of their head are shaved, I think. And they've just got this kind of like, what's left is this like long mane of that pastel curls. And I think they might have a little bit of pastel peach fuzz happening. Like a little baby bit. And as you pick them up and twirl them, they just look down at you and say, I told you you'd be amazing.
How did hold on. You were not that tall when I picked you up just now.
What's that?
You did it, Sitlali. You did.
Sin did it. Really.
What does that mean?
And I think those ghostly wings kind of extend again that swirl like alcohol ink behind her. I'm their keeper?
So, like a second, sort of?
I think
My second?
so. If you like.
Voska, your hair is longer. And Oka, I think, also like kind of like turns like an excited dog, like greeting everyone at a party. And they kind of hesitate for a moment in front of Voska, like waver just a little bit.
I think like Voska like didn't notice that hair grew longer until it like the ambient wind of Kinongbo like blows it right in front of their face, and they're like pushing it back because it's been so long since that's been a thing, and turn to you. Yes? It's I will figure this out, I think. As she kind of like really bashfully like tucks it behind her ear.
I can cut it for you if you want. I kind of do that for anyone of my friends.
I think Voska, hearing you call her a friend, raises an eyebrow, like a knowing one, and opens up her arms and pulls you in for a hug. And whispers in your ear, "No, I think I'll keep it."
And I think as Oka gets hugged this time, something like kind of folds and crumples against their chest in a weird way. What is that? And they reach into their robes and pull out a letter. They like kind of turn it over in their hands.
There is an address C. Voska, you recognize the handwriting immediately. It's Atalanta's. And the letter is addressed simply to Voska.
I think this is yours. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to steal your mail. I did not have These are not my clothes. I'm sorry.
I think Voska's just stunned silent because Val is stunned silent. I don't know what. Huh? Voska kind of like looks at this. She goes, how did you get this?
These are god clothes. I don't know where they come from.
May I?
It's from Sen. I mean, it's for you. So, and Oka holds it out.
I think Voska, like, very hands shaking, like, kind of not really understanding how this is happening, picks it up and looks at it.
Voska, when you touch the letter, you feel like magical energy, warm and soft like a sea breeze, cascade up your fingers. And I think you understand intimately that this letter is linked to that moment, I think, in the time fracture where you saw Atalanta in the past. So this is a letter spun out of time, penned by Atalanta before she died.
I'm gonna make freaking lose my shit, the both of you.
Do you read it?
Yes. Yes, I do.
It's a single sheet of paper. Royal parchment. You recognize it quite immediately, befitting of a champion. And there's a seal, I think, that you break. Carefully. Seal of when Atalanta reigned as champion. And as you unfold it, you see written in Atalanta's, I think, bold, no-nonsense script. Songbird. Words were always your domain, never mine, so forgive my clumsiness. First, I love you. Second, do not blame yourself for what will happen. Death comes for all of us in the end. I go the way I was always supposed to go, fighting for what's right. My only regret is you weren't there. Selfishly, I'm glad I went first, so that I won't ever have to live a day without you. Please forgive me for this. Speaking of which, between us, Voska, for me, toward you, there is nothing to forgive. Do not despair, my darling. Protect Andake, she needs you now. Third, I love you, I love you, I love you. I will see you soon. But until then, I'll keep the home fires burning. Atalanta.
First of all, fuck you, Connie. I think Voska, like, her hands tighten around this sheet of parchment, crumpling it on its sides. You can hear the sound of the paper straining within her grip. And a tear falls onto the parchment, forming ice as soon as it hits the paper, not to ever damage it. And tears of hail pour from her eyes. And she places the letter close to her chest and looks up at Oka. Thank you. Thank you.
And Oka smiles kind of sadly and softly. And reaches up, takes both of Voska's cheeks in their hand, smiles, and then leans in and hugs her again.
She reciprocates the hug, and I think kind of buries her head in the nook of your neck and exhales, comforted at last.
And Oka pulls away after a second, lets you be, and they turn to Dewey. And I think they're kind of sort of far away, but almost a year later, both of them so different. And Oka just kind of looks at Dewey for a really, really long time. And then they crack this sort of half-broken smile, like they've forgotten how to do it and they're learning again for the first time. And they go, pretty good for a couple of monsters, huh?
Pretty good, kid. You did it?
And they flex like all four of their wings, their eye like changing in this odd, I think it's slightly unnerving that every time they blink, someone else's eye is looking back, you know, but they just let that speak for itself.
Even if we're still monsters, we're very different than the ones we were a year ago, huh?
Maybe monster's not such a bad thing to be. Sorry, Mercy.
I'm sorry, Mercy this entire time has been shell-shocked. Because her hair, I think her side part has like grown out. So she looks like kind of like a shaggy dog, like unshaven, like a mullet. Like it's not good. It's not good. And like her hair has like exploded out of her ponytail and it's sort of like cascading thickly, I think, down her shoulders. Like her hair grows very fast. And she's like staring at you with this like wild look in her face. Oka, you fucking, you did it. Great fucking A.
Great fucking A. You need a haircut really bad.
Huh? Shit. Fucking come here, you fucking. And she like moves in and like hugs you and picks you up off the ground and like squeezes you really, really, really tight and like swings you around in her grasp.
Oh, Mercy! And I think like Oka's wings are like splayed at this really weird angle, like in her, like the four just kind of poking out in random places. And they like beat one of them to try to get her off.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, kid. Fuck. God, if Ravi
Why
could
are
see
you crying?
Because Ravi's fucking looking down on us, you goddamn slut.
And I think Oka starts laughing and starts crying, both in the same point and time, and they just let Mercy spin them around.
And you go round and round and round. And when Mercy finally sets you down again, Oka, I think that's when all of you hear voices drifting up from the hill. You also hear, I think, applause, shouting, screaming, cheering, laughter, music, as fireworks like sort of crack and pop open, I think shoot up from the base of the hill and explode in these blooming flowers across the night sky as the people of Kinongbo begin to notice the star on the horizon as well. But the voices that draw your attention are quite familiar. One of them is high and elegant, restrained and composed, like a traditional melody. Now, Ding Tian, let's do this judiciously, yes? Fuck judicious, I just have to get it out my mouth and into word space, okay? Just shut up, Zephyr. And pulling up short, I think at the edge of the pagoda's fenced-in area, we see the former Prince Moore and Zephyr, flanked by no fewer than like a dozen royal guards. Like royal hunters are accompanying them as well. And I think the two of them stop abruptly when they see you, Oka, and when Zephyr's eye lands on you, Dewey. Your hair is, your hair looks ugly. Ting Tian. I mean, okay, old habits die hard, okay? So I guess you saved everything and everyone, huh? Just like you said you were gonna do?
Yeah, your hair looks ugly too. And Oka says it with a little smile in the corner of their mouth still.
Yeah, well, okay, that's great. I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back to outside. And Ting Tian starts to turn around, but Zephyr holds out a wing and stops him. And he sort of, like, his dragonborn form braces against that arm. His back turned to you. You see his, like, shoulders tense and rise up toward his ears. And then they lower. Fuck. And he turns around to face you, Oka. But this time there's a look on his face that is neither anger, nor resentment, nor depression, nor someone who's like at the very bottom of a barrel and can't see the sun. He looks remorseful? All right, fine. I'm only saying this because Zephyr's making me say it, and I guess it's the right thing to say or do or whatever the fuck. Oka, listen. When the cataclysm happened for real, like for the last time, this time, and as Xingtian speaks, we push in on his face, and we see from his perspective and the perspective of all Kinongbo what happened when the cataclysm occurred for the final time. Because when the cataclysm comes, Xingtian knows there's something wrong. It's not the screaming, not the panic, not the nobles scattering like marbles against a playmat that sets him off. Darkness swallows the garden party. Fear ripples through the crowd, a barely restrained terror swelling up against the confines of decorum. That much for Xingtian is old news, but this time, the fear holds. The blackness of the sky remains. The stars don't leap back. The laughter doesn't return. Xingtian doesn't find himself in the same dusty tavern he always does when the wheel of time turns back. Instead, here comes the snapping, and then the quakes. And then the party is plunged into full-bodied terror. The last vestige of dignity snaps like the strings of the weave, and the hounds of chaos tear loose. Shrieks pierce the night, confused bodies trample past, and Xingtian shrinks into his seat, his heart pounding, his eyes wide, cowering underneath the shogi table. And then he hears his voice. High and commanding, restrained even now, cutting through this miasma of panic. Zephyr, in regal Jukan, in the highest mode of address, is saying, "Nobles of Kinongbo, calm yourselves. There's an explanation for this. Please, everyone, stop running. Let us gather and speak." But no one's listening. Zephyr's level-headed entreatments are whelmed by a tidal wave of fear. Another quake rocks the party. People scream. Something huge and unseen topples and smashes, and Zephyr stays calm, keeps shouting, but it's not working. And every passing second, his voice sounds smaller and smaller, and the fear gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and underneath the shogi table, Xingtian hugs his knees to his chest. He rocks back and forth, his eyes trained on the shadowy ground, sweat curling down his spine. He squeezes his eyes shut, grits his teeth, thinks about his half-sibling. Fuck! And Xingtian scrambles out from underneath the table, shaking his head and muttering, fuck, 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 the entire time. He clambers on top of the shogi tiles, takes in a deep breath, and bellows with every ounce of obnoxious, impudent, royal brattiness he has ever mustered. Everyone, calm the fuck down! And it works. The panic freezes. Nobles pause, eyes turn upon him, even as the world implodes around Kinongbo. This is the cataclysm, okay? It's happened before. We've been through this. I've been through this. Don't you remember? Come on, everyone. We've been stuck inside a loop. It's the same 4 hours over and over and over again. But it does end. Okay, the cataclysm does end. This isn't forever. A year passes. Things change. Lady Anion, you end up seeking refuge in Tulong. My mother, Mo Guilian, she welcomes you in before we're banished. Head Tanaka, your estate is obliterated in the fallout here, okay? You lose everything, so stop grabbing your chips. They mean nothing after this night, okay? And Zephyr, my best friend, you die here, okay? you don't make it out. No one ever finds your body. Silence. And that's when an eye above the pagoda in the near distance opens. People gasp, and before panic can take hold again, it'll be different this time, okay? We'll make different choices. We can change. I can change. Right? Right? The prince is right. Nobles, we have a duty to Kinongbo now, don't we? If we want to lead, we must lead. Lady Enyin, Lord Satsuki, Liege Ao, get the people out of the capital expeditiously. And on that, we cut back to the present, onto the face of an anxious, embarrassed, self-conscious Jingtian, wringing his hands in front of his half-sibling as he finishes telling his story of what happened from his end.
Yeah, yours did kind of have a loud, obnoxious voice.
Shut up, okay? It came in handy, I guess. And the voice is the point, okay? All these loops, even before you and your little adventuring party or whatever got here, I tried to get up here, okay? The first few times I tried to be a hero, like you, or whatever. But it didn't work, okay? I got too scared, or I wouldn't make it on time, and then I gave up, okay? It got too hard, so I gave up. But I don't know, I guess I knew you were fighting, and I hate that you're better than me at this. I hate that, so, I guess I just wanted to, be different.
The only reason I'm here is because I wanted to be different. I've just been doing what I thought was right. Like you did.
Yeah, most of the civilians have been evacuated. Thankfully, there were no casualties during the cataclysm this time around. However, a lot of the quakes did topple various residences. People will be displaced. But for now, order holds. Yeah, okay, whatever, I guess. So, are we, you still hate me? Because I haven't decided if I still hate you.
Every day we can wake up and make different choices.
How about today?
Today I feel kinda lucky to have an older brother. Tomorrow, who knows? So,
yeah, who knows about tomorrow? Yeah, you little shit. You... Thanks. I guess you're a fine secondborn or whatever.
Trueborn.
All right, you ruined it. Okay, bye. And Tsingtian is gonna turn very awkwardly, I think tail sort of lashing behind him, and start to stalk back down the hill.
And Oka watches him go and turns to Zephyr and inclines their head very gratefully. Thank you for whatever the fuck that just was.
I told him he should open up about his feelings toward you and toward everyone else. Tsingtian's always been very good at bottling up his true feelings, but letting his anger lash out at everyone else.
Runs in the family.
Well, I'm going to help with the civilian effort. There are quite a few administrative duties to attend to. The capital will be in a state of disorder until Lord Oju returns. Can I trust all of you to stay here and help pick up the pieces until that happens?
Yeah. Lord Henka Oju should be here soon, I hope.
Well, in the meantime, please, why don't all of you rest? And I think on that, we are going to cut to a break.
What a first half, am I right? So many tears, so many queers.
We'll be back in 10 minutes. Love you all so much. Bijou, bijou. Hello, 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 Transplanar friends and family. GM Connie here with a very exciting word from one of our incredible sponsors for Arc 6 of The Second Stranger. Roll is an alternative to complex virtual tabletops, instead serving as a people-first online play and creation platform for TTRPGs and all sorts of social narrative play. With a focus on high-quality video, intuitive code-free creation tools, and simple, seamless gameplay for everyone, Roll is the easiest place for you to run your games online. Also, with Roll's drag and drop sheet builder system, you can create content for any game you want to play, even your own homebrew hacks. Tell the stories you want to tell. Roll empowers you to do so. Also, Roll is 100% free for anyone to use all the time. So sign up today and run your next game at playroll.com. Roll, you can play with us. Welcome back from break. This is the final part of Arc 6, Episode 15 of The Second Stranger. This is going to be the last part of the Jukai group. What an arc. Wow. Okay, but before I get too ahead of myself, some content warnings before we hop back into the session. Content warnings for this episode and the campaign in general may include fantasy violence, body horror, gore, blood and bloodletting, apocalypse, trauma and grief, familial struggles, complex and complicated relationships, romance, references to sexual entanglement, death of loved ones, eye gore, and disreality. So with that out of the way, let's hop right back in. Voska. In the 3 days that pass before Lord Henka Oju returns to Kinongbo, how do you spend your time?
She spends her time working, and helping out as many as she could, if not by her magics, then at least keeping morale up. A tragedy like this, we may have experienced the cataclysm. Folks might remember that the cataclysm happened, but the trauma is still trauma. And perhaps if a song, a story, or a dance can help alleviate it, she's more than happy to do so. So that's how she spends her time. And in the quiet moments between all of those things, I think she sits by a quiet place, probably close to a body of water, and plays her flute. And right by her side is an opened notebook journal with a story written titled The Bandit Crate and the Tiger.
I think we find you by a gurgling brook in, I think, one of the various lavish gardens of a royal courtyard that all of you have been invited to stay in after, literally saving Kinongbo from the stagnation. And the smell, I think, of like winter flowers drifts through the air. There's like a light rhyming of frost on the boulders that cobble throughout this space. And your flute music is the only melody that drifts along the wind. And then you hear a heavy boot step crunch through fallen leaves behind you. Not very subtle at all.
Voska immediately knows who this is. And like, whereas before that person's presence might abruptly cause her to like miss a note or anything, she finds a calm way of closing out the tune and releases the flute from her lips and says nothing so that they might have the chance to speak first, but her eyes are already lingering over her shoulder to hear a potential greeting.
And Mercy, scratching the back of her freshly shaved head, she like immediately took to her overgrown sides with a razor, like as soon as like the previous scene ended, sort of clears her throat and goes, "So you're good at flute stuff too, huh? Not just the zither. Any other instruments you can play? Bagpipes? That's undignified. Are you good at bagpipes?" What is that? What's that noise giggling. You're making? What is that? Are you laughing?
She turns around. She's laughing. Her flute in her right hand and her hand over her lips. She's laughing.
No, I don't think I've ever heard you laugh, much less at something I said ever before, like ever.
I promise there are occasions, and it's been a long time. No, I don't play the bagpipes. They're a little heavy to hold, in all honesty.
They're the only instrument I know how to play, so...
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, they're kind of big and loud, right? And people only really play them at funerals. It's a whole thing, so I never really get the chance to show off. Everyone likes it when people bust out a zither or a viol, at a party, but when he busts out the bagpipes, it's kind of a downer, Mind if I sit here?
Yes, go on ahead.
Sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say? I'm just gonna pop a squat right here.
I was going to say that perhaps you need to find other occasions to, how you say it, bust that out.
Wow, that is so weird hearing you say that, Voska. You are like, I know you're younger than me, but it feels like you're older, but also a lot younger, but also a lot older. Know what I mean?
I have been told that, yes. Not quite in so few words, but yes. And she kind of like adjusts herself and like puts her flute back on her lap and leaves the notebook there and kind of like readjusts her seating to like face Mercy.
What's a crate?
It is a type of serpent.
A snake.
Black.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Galtanger's middle finger. That's what I call him. Sometimes they get really big in the Badlands. Because there's gold on them.
Yes.
I don't know, they're like, I don't really care about their proper scientific names or whatever, but I do know that their venom is potent, can kill a grown man with a single teaspoon.
That's certainly true. And I think her voice lowers and as she thinks on that, and there's a passage in the Bandit Crate and the Tiger where it talks about the potency of the crate's poison.
Listen, alright, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. So, when we were inside the time fracture thing, things got a little weird. Really weird. Yeah, like who? That is why I do not fuck with magic. That's why my second is the magic person. I do not like how magic makes me feel. I just wanted to say, I know I kind of said it during the fight, but, we were sort of in a life or death situation, so, now that we're all calm, I just wanted to tell you, Voska, that, Look, I genuinely am sorry for being a dick. Okay, I know I've been a dick at you ever since we started traveling together, and you didn't really deserve that. It was, like I said, it was misplaced anger at losing Atalanta, and frankly, it wasn't even about Atalanta. I mean, it was. Obviously it was. But it's about everyone I've ever lost and feeling like a piece of shit, you know, that I couldn't save him. So, yeah.
I think Voska, just listens very patiently to all of that, letting Mercy finish, even though there are multiple times where you see her pursed lips open to, maybe intercept Mercy, but holds back. I also wish to apologize. When on Bacchanalia Beach, one, I should not have been there. It was not my place. But I should have said more. I knew Alan overstepped, and I did not show you the kindness that you deserved to have been shown in that moment. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize for that, Voska. It's fine. People have called me worse. Believe me. I mean, that was pretty bad, but I weathered worse. But you know what? Fine. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the gesture. It's nice. Thank you. Fuck. You're just too nice. Too nice. But you're also really cold. But you're also not. I don't know. You're weird. You're full of dimensionality, I guess.
Perhaps I'm just a person then, Mercy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess I get weird when people are paragons, because Oka and Ravi got fucked up by a god shard. It's a whole thing. I mean, so did Atalanta, or kind of. I mean, bloodthirst. Well, you know, I'm not gonna. We don't have to talk about that. Yeah. Well, I guess we're good. We good? You good?
No, we're good. Mostly we are.
Good.
And she kind of picks up that piece of the journal and puts it on top of her lap. Can I play you something?
Oh my god. Oh god. Am I ready for this? Yeah. You know what? Hit me. Do it.
And Voska plays the first draft iteration of the Bandit Crate and the Tiger. And it opens on this visual of a tiger. Its beautiful orange fur and black stripes glowing in the dappled sun rays of a forest, and coming upon a bandit crate curled up and singing in the forest. And in that moment, their eyes lock, and there's something that is shared between the two of them. And from then on, the tiger and the crate are inseparable. They are together always. The crate hovering around the tiger's neck, the tiger proud and courageous, the ruler of its domain. One night, the crate has a nightmare. She dreams that her poison shall one day hurt the tiger. Her venom so potent that it will take the most precious person away from her. So the crate left the tiger, hoping that with distance, that venom will find no way to the tiger. But one day the tiger faces a great foe, a grand cobra. And as the fight goes on, the cobra snags a bite upon the tiger's neck. But it isn't the venom of the cobra that kills that tiger, it is the crate. Because if the crate had not left, the tiger wouldn't have felt such great need to protect the wolf, the eagle, the lion that awaited her at her domain as they hovered around a dying tiger. And her venom pools towards the river, and the crate and the tiger
will want, hopefully, it ends on like a hopeful note that perhaps the crates and the tiger shall meet again. And perhaps the venom won't keep them apart anymore.
As you finish your song, you see that Mercy is crying. She's like sitting on a boulder looking out at the stream. Not looking at you, but she's like fully crying. Just sort of staring, but her face is impassive, kind of. Like she's just nodding and tears are streaming down her cheeks. Two things. One, wasn't your fucking fault, Voska. Okay? She made her choices. She was a smart woman, strong. She made a decision. She stuck by it. I truly believe that the way she died, though too soon. She went out swinging, Voska. That's how she would have wanted to go. So don't beat yourself up too bad about that, okay, buddy? It's not your fault. Second thing, the North Talmadi pine snake is the only snake with vocal cords, so banded crate can't sing. Just so you know, it's kind of inconsistent scientifically, so.
I think Voska like nods like solemnly at first and then just breaks out into a giggle again. She's like, well, I'll add that to my third revision. Maybe I'll make this a little happier that they will meet again.
Yeah, well, writing is rewriting, right? It's what Shikyat used to always say. She stands up and kind of slaps you on the back.
Once Mercy slaps like her back, like in a friendly manner, she'll say, "Thank you, Mercy."
You are very welcome. All right, see you around, I guess. And she starts to turn to leave, but before she exits, she pauses at the threshold of the grove and turns to look at you. You are deeply, very much still in love with Atalanta. I mean, that much is obvious, so I'm not gonna ask. But you're monogamous, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, never mind.
I think Voska was like surprised to have this questioner. So her face was like, yes, I am.
Cool. Great. Okay, then never mind. Yeah, all right, bye. Yes, see you around.
Insight check. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
You know what the fuck that was about, Voska. You know what the fuck
Voska doesn't.
Okay, make an insight check.
The dice say you will not know because I rolled a 3. Hold on, I've got a massive plus to my insight. Oh, actually, 15 plus 3, that's 18.
Jesus. I the lowest you could roll would be a 16 on insight. Yeah, my god. Yeah, she was gauging your romantic availability. But
that is very sweet. Voska's just like, that is very sweet, continues playing the flute.
And I think we're gonna pan away from you, Voska, right, on that scene, and head over to, speaking of Mercy's love, Sitlali. Sitlali, how do you spend these 3 days in advance of Lord Oju returning?
I think Sitlali is in cleric mode a little bit, running around doing some healing, creating food and water where there isn't any anymore. I think that they are very excited to have their changeling magic back, so she goes through a couple of phases and like can't decide if they want to be tall or short, and like keeps running into, like, tries using Mercy's javelin as a cane when she's taller and is like, this is not sustainable, I can't deal with this, so ends up going with like the size that her cane is sized for, which is 5'2", but she's like mad about it, like a little visibly grouchy about it. Keeps the side shave though, is a fan of that, but yeah, just doing whatever magic healing control that they can do. Keeping very busy and very fucking tired, I think. Very fucking tired. And I think, because the pagoda got sliced in half, right?
It did. It got sliced in half like a bamboo stalk.
Yeah. I think Sitlali has nothing for that. But I think that might be where Mercy finds them. Just kind of like sitting and staring up at this half of a building, being like, how the fuck are we gonna, can Dewey, is Dewey an architect? What is Dewey? Like realizing that like white woman math meme, but like not good at it. And also definitely sleep deprived.
I think as you're sitting on the grass, looking up at this halfway sliced tower, you hear Mercy approaching. Hey, I brought you some tea. The gentle variety. I think I burned it though. I don't know how you can burn water, but I did it. Here you go. I think it should still, it's got a potent blend of cardamom and of scorched bits. So here you go. And I also got you some stuff on, just around here in Jukai. Some berries, some fish.
It's not the water that burns, it's the leaves, from what Gentle taught me.
Oh, yeah, okay, then don't drink that. Here's some regular water instead. And Mercy, sits down next to you with, a little platter of snacks that she's gathered from Kinongbo. I'm trying to, get a hang of the culture here. It's very, hunting and gathering, so I try to gather some things from the market with my money. And I hunted some berries with my fists from bushes, so here you go. I'm pretty sure they were private residential gardens though, so.
I think Sitlali just pulls her in for a kiss. She's like, this is my thimbo and I will like it that way. So are you sure the berries you stole are the edible kind? Did you double check? Nobles they like the deadly stuff because they think it's pretty, because it is. But
okay, and Mercy actually takes half of the tray away and the tea, so it's just some sad looking fish and water for you. I got you some fish and water. Oh, surf and surf, right? The water and the fish. Here you go. Very gourmet.
You're very
Eat your heart out, Shriyang.
And I think Sitlali stares off into the middle distance, thinking about that inevitable revenge that they will get. Sitlali laughs and eats the fish.
You're all keepered now. You look great. The hair, everything. How does it feel?
I don't really know if that makes sense. It's like being second, I guess, in a way, Oka said. It just kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I knew you were going to do that.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my love. You gave it to me. I had to do it. Low-hanging fruit.
Sorry. I don't think, you do like your low-hanging fruit.
I do. Well, good. I'm glad it feels, correct. And it's fine to not know, I don't think Oka knows what being Paragon really means. I don't think any of the Paragons really know what being Paragon really means. You know what I mean? I think we're all just sort of trying our best.
Yeah. Do you remember back at the court?
Oh, what part? Speaking of the court, that kid, Spider, we literally haven't talked about it until now. Since Karishma and the meeting. Anyway, say your thing about the court.
No, we can do your thing about Spider.
I just think that kid looks, that kid it's not my kid, right?
I would never dare to speculate on the private life of Duchess Starwing, but Mercy, I think that's your kid.
No, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. That was a diversion. That was a tangent. Tell me your thing about the court. Let's get back let's get back on topic.
Mercy, I think that's your kid, and that makes me that kid's step-parent, and I don't really know.
Well, we don't have to talk about that right now. We can deal with that later. But just we'll after the world is saved, okay? After the world is saved, we'll talk about what that means.
I mean, I guess I would be the step-parent if we were married, but that's not a thing we've talked about, and they are going crimson.
What? Back to the court.
Back
Go, say your thing.
In the court. Yes. Back in the court. I called Rev a lot of things, and I didn't say goodbye to Leaf for her, and I feel like I should have. Did I tell you that Leaf is the one who guards my after? I don't think I told you any of that.
You didn't. And is there like a moment where you just tell Mercy, like everything you saw in the after, like you explain it, you walk her through it, I think.
Yeah.
At the end of it, she looks really like her brow is furrowed. She looks deeply contemplative. So every person has a different after? Sorry, I'm getting hung up on the wrong thing. Wow. Hey, listen, Sitlali. I'm not a magic person, but I'm sure that magically or not, Leaf could feel, that you love her. And that you're sorry. And all those things.
But I also feel like, Leaf was wrong about some things. Which you grow up like I did, and learning that the things you've been taught from the day you were born aren't necessarily true is, a lot. The Raven Queen isn't everything in the world. The Weave is. And I've committed so much fucking sacrilege. Is Rev gonna do you think Rev is going to
kill you? No, I don't think Rev would kill you, Sitlali. Listen, Rev is literally she's literally a fucking zombie, okay? That's I don't know much about court, whatever, but I know that's sacrilege. All right?
I mean, technically yes, and that is what I called her. But now I have done. How am I different, really, from Rev now?
Well, you say that like Rev's a bad person.
You say that like I'm a bad person.
You're not a bad person, Sitlali. I don't think you're a bad person. I think look at me, Sitlali. Look at me. I'm in a glass house. You know what I mean? Listen. I was never really into religious whatever stuff, growing up like me, raised by monsters, their perception of religion's a little different, I guess. But what I do know is that the court that you were raised in, based on all the stories you've told me, that's one way of looking at the Raven Queen, right? But obviously if Rev exists and is the paragon chosen by destiny to serve the Raven Queen, I don't think that's the only way of looking at death and life. And religion, and what's real and what's not real. Know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, gods and people were just, we just have our own perspectives. Know what I mean?
I suppose.
So one person might say that what you did was sacrilege, maybe those hoity-toity Duchess Starwing-like people in the court, but other people, like fucking Oka's entire fucking family full of necromancer doing blood magic up the fucking asshole, like they would just think it's a regular fucking bear, you know what I mean? Another day of the week.
I think what we did might be a little extreme even for them, but I see your point.
Desperate times, Sitlali. You don't eat your own shoe when you're not starving, right? But I've eaten many a shoe in my life, and I don't judge a man who has to eat some boot leather to get by. And anyone who tries to judge you for eating your boot leather, I think, go fuck themselves, frankly.
I just worry what she'll say, you know? I mean, do I tell her that I saw Leaf? Do I...
I think she deserves to know, Sitlali. I mean, if you were her, you'd want to know, right?
Yeah.
But hey, you can't control how she's gonna react, right? But what does matter is that you're honest with her, you tell her, and I don't know, she might surprise you with how she responds. I don't know.
Or we could have a rematch, I guess.
Listen, no matter what happens, I'm here for you, okay?
And I think Sitlali just kind of like leans against Mercy. Okay, but Spider is definitely your kid, though.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he definitely is. And I think the two of you just lean against each other, looking up at the pagoda, right, as like the scene fades on that. We swipe away from that scene to find Dewey. Dewey, how have you been spending your 3 days of freedom before Lord Oju comes back?
Dewey has joined one of the local cleanup crews. You find him wearing a fluorescent yellow vest. He's got his robe tucked into his pants. The long ends have been tucked into his cargo shorts. And he's got one of those like long grabby hands. And he's helping with like cleanup of the rubble around the city. Just like to get involved because he feels a little bit bad about all the destruction, but also because he's kind of desperately looking for the cracked gem that was in the middle of Dusty's sword that got, obliterated. But that's what he's been doing for these past couple days.
I think as you're shuffling through the streets, tons of people stop to talk to you. They're all like, oh, like you're the Paragon of Galtanger. Like they want to get like your autograph. They want to like speak with you. They want to tell you all their problems. How are you dealing with this?
I think it's getting to be a little like the first couple of people he's like, oh, like, sure, I'll hear you out. But after it got a little bit excessive and got in the way of him digging through the rubble, I think he's just taken to being like, you must have me mistaken for someone else. Sorry, I'm just a townsperson, kind of just like pretending it's not him.
I think we find you, I think maybe kind of like backed into a corner by like a kind of imposing looking older centaur woman with kind of like a gray mule-like body. And she's currently in the middle of telling you in like rapid common.
And listen, when my last husband left me, it was because, yes, I did cheat on him with several other people, but my current husband is thinking of leaving me too. But it's not because I've been cheating. He just fears I'm going to be disloyal. So what do you think I should do?
I don't know how many times I have to tell you, I'm not who you think I am, and I have no experience, I have no expertise in this area.
Well, see, that's the problem. He's not who I thought he was either. I'm thinking maybe we should renew our vows.
Papaya.
Oh, Lord Zephyr.
And the mule-like centaur woman turns around and we see Zephyr striding forward in these like beautiful, deep kind of royal noble robes. And he sort of inclines his regal head toward her and she sort of bows. Might I have a moment with the Paragon of Galtanger?
Yes, certainly. Yes, of course, my lord. Well, do let me know what you think I should do about my predicament. All right.
And she turns around and sort of clops off. And now it's just you and Zephyr, I think, by this alleyway strewn with debris and rubble.
Dewey has sort of unconsciously puffed up a little bit. He's a little bit flustered and embarrassed to be caught in this sort of, like, not only to be digging through piles of trash, basically, but also to have been, like, cornered by this person and not be able to talk his way out of it.
It's very kind of you to help clean up our city after the cataclysm.
Oh, of course, it's the least I could do after we destroyed we didn't destroy the tower and the city, but we kind of did.
How humble. That is a fascinating invention. And Zephyr gestures at the grabby thing.
Oh, it's just here, give it a try. It's like just something I put together like yesterday. I got tired of digging through it with my hands.
Do you mind if I?
Yeah.
And Zephyr takes the grabby thing with a trigger. Is the end like a pair of hands? Or is it like... Or is it more dignified? Or is it just sort of like two flaps?
Yeah, I think they've got like broad, sort of like wide blades, just so you can like sift through material with the edges.
Sure. He humors it a little bit and like uses it to sift through some material and like picks up, I think, like a bit of rubble and like puts it aside. Well, this is quite useful. Here, you can have it back. And like hands it back to you after like 2 pieces of rubble have been moved.
Thanks. Did you need something from me?
I just wanted to tell you, well, first of all, thank you for being part of the group that helped to restore Kinongbo back to some sense of normalcy. And I just wanted to say, well, everyone's memories came back of every single loop that happened. And, wow, we bumped into each other quite often, didn't we?
A couple times. Sorry if you remember all that.
I'm not sorry.
My bad. Dewey freezes and then quickly starts like digging through stuff again on the ground.
I thought it was very endearing that you said you were the butt part of Carvaj Tarai.
I mean, you said that. You suggested that.
I was offering you a lifeline in a awkward conversation in which you were clearly floundering.
Yeah, you're right. Not an actor, though.
Well, part of having our memories restored also means we have some bit of awareness of what's been happening now. You are, of course, the paragon of Galtanger, Hardu, Dewey, Quirk. You, forgive me for bringing this up, but you're divorced, right?
Wait, did I tell you that in one of the loops?
No, I heard about it.
From who?
Everyone's talking. Well, there's rumors about how Voska, the paragon of Nitbuza, used to date the now deceased champion of Nabal, and how the current paragon of Sen, gods bless their soul, was an exiled prince of Toulon, of course.
So everyone just reads the tabloids only, huh?
I wouldn't say exclusively, but in addition to a healthy diet of other types of media. I am a patron of the arts, of course, but you remember that. I just wanted to say I'm also divorced.
Good to know.
I just mean, this is rather awkward of me, isn't it? It's nice to know that a paragon is also just a person. That's all I mean.
Yeah, well, thanks. It's, hard when you saw all the people coming up to me, asking me for advice that I'm super not qualified to give.
Well, yeah, I figure you will get your fair share of that. People like hope. People like projecting all of their fears and aspirations onto someone. People like putting other people on pedestals, I think. But, I won't do that to you.
Thanks, I appreciate it. But also, I'm, like, leaving in... No offense, but I'm, like, leaving in 3 days, so...
I know. This, ships in the night, I suppose. But, listen. Dewey. Cardu, which do you prefer?
Let's go with Dewey.
Alright then. Dewey. I was supposed to die. The first time the Cataclysm came around, I perished in the fallout. This was never supposed to happen to me, but now I'm starting to question if there even is a supposed to. But because of you, Dewey, and your friends, I was saved. I was given a second chance. All of Kinongbo was given a second chance. I plan to use this second chance with purpose. When we first met, I mentioned grappling with anger issues. That was part of the reason why my previous relationship, my arranged marriage, didn't quite work out. He had his issues too, but so did I. We just weren't a good fit, and I've tried to work on myself since, and I like to think of the second chance as a chance at, I don't know, redemption? Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I guess we have that in common. Looking for second chances, redemption, and also we were supposed to die. We'll see if that one comes true for me.
Hopefully it doesn't. And Dewey, if I may be so bold, if it doesn't happen, if you and the other paragons end up all right on the other side of fighting for Antake, I know this great tea spot in Kinongbo, and I'd love to take you out sometime.
And Dewey freezes. Of course. Yeah, I can't make any promises, but I think I would love that.
Great. Oh, and I think you might have been looking for this. And Zephyr reaches into his pouch and pulls out a shattered part of the gem that had been embedded in Dusty's sword and hands it to you.
Oh my god, so where did you find this?
In a pile of trash.
You were digging through it without the use of a grabby hand?
It...
For me?
Seemed important.
Thank you. You're a lifesaver. This is, my son, but, like, it's complicated.
Well, you'll have to tell me all about it.
Yeah.
Well, I figured that piece of, well, it is a crystal. Well, yes, you'll have to tell me all about it. Perhaps you can write me a letter? Just one.
All right. Let me get your address.
And Zephyr gives you his address. And on the exchange of AOL direct messaging information, and Dake online letter writing, that's what it's short for, we're gonna pan over, I think, to Oka. What have you been up to these past 3 days before Lord Oju arrives?
Sleeping. They haven't meant to do it, but Jukai said that this was the last time we'd see that dream. Do we still have nightmares every night?
You do not. Dewey and Voska and Oka, the three of you are no longer plagued by that recurring nightmare. It ends. That was the last time.
Oka has not slept. They haven't just had a normal sleep in almost 8 years. And I think it finally punches and catches up with them. Like, they're trying to go around Kinongbo and, like, you know, be the face of the Paragon of Sen and get used to all 4 wings and this halo that won't go away and the fact that there are bones on their clothes now, and that they don't know where their actual clothes went. They don't know where they are. And they are, you know, trying to answer questions and help people, but they keep falling asleep on piles of rubble. And Zephyr was saying that it was starting to affect morale, so they have just kind of been sequestered to stay home and, like, sleep a lot. Still occasionally, like, getting up, but catching up on 8 years worth of sleep.
I like that. I think you just sleep. And I think the first 2 nights is dreamless. You just fall deep into slumber and you wake up, like, kind of groggy, you know, but it's so nice. It's like finally getting to taste food after 8 years of not being able to taste it. You know what I mean? It's like it's so good. And I think on the 3rd night, you have a dream that isn't a nightmare, that isn't a prophecy. And when you wake up, it's gentle, right? Like, it's like a nice, I think, breeze is filtering through the room. You smell winter pollen, right? And I think you just sort of, like, your eyelids flutter open on the mattress, and there's a soft rapping at the sliding door. Oka, are you awake?
No. Yes. Hello?
Can I steal you for a few minutes?
And Oka shoots up in bed, like really fast. All the blankets come down. They're in their clothes still. Like all four wings kind of splayed awkwardly out on the mattress behind them. They can like lift them up, shake one to get a blanket off of it. Yes, I will be there right away. Give me 35 seconds. And Oka flies to like the mirror on the wall, kind of looks at themselves, looks at their eye, like that one eye that's not familiar to them, blinking back at them. They have some kind of vague recollection about it, but they can't place whose it is. And they kind of turn, their hair is, still braided, but they slept on it, so it's kind of like fuzzy and a little tangled at the bottom. And they try to like put their fingers through it, but it's braided like all the way down. They'd have to undo the whole braid and then brush it. That's gonna take like 20 minutes, and they only said 35 seconds. So, okay, this is good. This is good. And they like, okay, you're okay. It's totally fine. Be normal. Normal. Be normal. And then they walk to the door and open it.
Dr. Eluso stands on the threshold, not in their lab coat, but in a sleeveless turtleneck shirt tucked into nice trousers and these boots with, I think, silver clasps on them. And they turn to look at you, and their hair is still brown, and their eyes are still brown, and they've got those glasses on that they adjust very quickly. They look you up and down. Oka. Hello, I know I didn't want to disturb you these past few days because you've been sleeping. Well deserved, by the way, of course, but I figure, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. Where's your coat?
Oh, that doesn't, can you fly me to the top of the pagoda?
You wanna, to the top of the pagoda?
Well, I could get there myself, but there's something I want to show you. These past few days, I have repaired the tower, and it should be stable now, so.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's go. Okay, yeah. I can fly with 4 wings.
You look great with the wings and they gesture vaguely at your head.
And I think the spinning of the like blood wheels gets a little bit faster when Dr. Eluso looks at them. Like it kind of like just turns a little bit faster, all the circles. Yeah, thank you. Little weird. I'm sorry, I've been sleeping a lot. A little disoriented.
It's completely understandable. Catching up on, 8 years of lost sleep?
Basically, yeah.
And Dr. Eluso laughs and smiles at you. And they nod and turn and stride down the hallway. And I think they lead you out to a garden area where you can see the pagoda, and even from this distance, it has been repaired since you've been snoozing. The parts of, I think, the crumbled building, the boulders, the bits of wood that like shattered and disintegrated have just been refitted on. Like it hadn't been shattered in the first place. And the only vestige, the only reminder, the only ghosts that haunt it are, I think, sort of like kintsugi. Like there are like cracks sealed with gold all the way up the tower.
That's beautiful. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
It's beautiful. It'll live in the history of Kinongbo forever.
Hopefully I did a good enough job. It's a mix of transmutation, conjuration, a little bit of evocation, but that doesn't matter. Alright, so how should I hold you here? Do you want to pick me up?
Let me just, and Oka just kind of leans forward, quickly scoops Dr. Eluso up, just like under the knees, just hang on, just hold. And it's real fast. Oka's like 1, 2, 3, 4, all wings together, like once, twice, and they're like up in the air. Making like quick speed to the pagoda.
I think the wind just gusts past you, right? You're just soaring through the air, like your wings cutting soundlessly, I think, through the air around you. You're so much faster now and a lot more stable and powerful than you used to be with just your 2 wings. There's something about this new Paragon form that makes it feel like power is just surging through you. And when you land at the top of the pagoda, you see that there is a little scene set up at the top. There's a picnic blanket, and some pieces of food laid out on the blanket. And there are also these glowing stars, like these little glowing points of starlight, just floating around the top in a circle around it, like fairy lights.
What? And Oka kind of like is standing on the railing and gently deposits Dr. Eluso down.
Oh.
What's this?
Oh, okay. Oka, when we, I know we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, and I know I said some things along the lines of, this isn't supposed to happen, I didn't, stuff like that, and I wanted to...
Fine, yeah, totally fine.
No, Oka, what I mean by that is I wanted to do this properly.
Properly?
Yes, and they bring their hands up in front of their chest and start to wring their fingers together in a way that they've never before. Like, they look actively nervous, and they're not meeting your gaze. And Dr. Eluso has looked a lot of things, but they've never looked anxious. I like you. And I was hoping that you would want to go on a date with me.
Oka looks sort of like they're about to pass out. And then they take like a really sharp inhale. I would really like that.
Great. Great. Oh, I'm so relieved. Oh, wow. I had prepared myself for if you said no. But I didn't prepare myself for if you said yes. So, do you want to come down from the railing?
Yeah, I've never really known you to not be prepared. I mean, it looks like you are prepared, unless that was going to be like an apology picnic if I said no, but I don't know why you think I would say no.
It would have been a pity picnic. But you didn't say no. So you said yes, I suppose. So I think, oh guys, you like step down from the railing, like whoosh in front of them. They go, and they lean up and kiss you.
That's gay. That's gay! That's gay! Oka kisses them back, obviously. We could pan away. Lord.
I'm not gonna pan away yet. As you kiss, I think there's like a moment where I think your wings reflexively fold over the two of you.
That is so gay! Yes, obviously!
And then when there's like a break, like the two of you break apart, like you're looking into their deep brown eyes or gazing back up into your eyes. The stars, the little floating stars. Well, it's because you call me your guiding star, but to me you're my guiding star. So,
Saga, doesn't that mean that we're just kind of going around in circles, chasing each other around in the sky?
Well, that's not so bad, is it?
No, I don't think it is. Something spinning wheel.
Okay, you show me how to be a person, I think. Because I think sometimes I forget. Or I don't quite know. But when I look at you, when I'm with you, I feel like maybe I am human.
Yeah. I get that. Maybe we could just remind each other that no matter what happens deep down, we're still just people.
Well, the tea is going to get cold, And I have set out, here you will see little plates. Each one represents a different significant moment we have shared together. And Dr. Eluso's gonna go over and start. You see the little placard set up of like every significant interaction the two of you have had, like mapped out analytically.
Yeah, Oka just takes that all in stride. All in stride.
Yeah. And I think like it's on that scene of the two of you starting to sit down on the picnic blanket and eat this delicious food that we fade to black there. And when we open back up, it is 3 days after the time loop ends. And Lord Henka Oju finally returns to Kinongbo. Her arrival into this capital city is heralded by all sorts of fanfare, right? Dancers in the street, taiko drums with their rhythms vibrating the air, the long, sustained vibrato of traditional Jukan requiems. Half a dozen hunters carry Lord Oju atop a wooden platform, bearing the Great Uniter toward the loftiest steps of Kinongbo, toward that pagoda. And of course, I think the four of you are part of the party to receive her at the very top, to brief her on everything that's happened, to like pass the baton of administrative assistance over to her, right? And she does, I think, make it clear in no uncertain terms her gratitude toward all of you for the great service you have rendered her nation and her capital and her people. And I think it is Head Nobu, the Earth Ganassi person with crystals embedded in their skin and their hair, that I think communicates the depths of this appreciation to all of you. I think we find you, at the base of the pagoda now with Lord Henka Oju, surrounded by like a massive retinue of dancers and hunters and gatherers, right? And Head Nobu stepping forward in front of your party to say, well, of course, as our honored guests, you are more than welcome to stay for as long as you please in the Dragonfish Inn and beyond, but I understand if now is the time for you all to also get a move on. We will see to your every accommodation before you leave, and please take your time.
Thank you, Lord Nobu, but and Oka kind of looks off toward the star on the distant horizon, and this this tug, this constant pull that's been asking them to go there. I think that if we wait any longer, we'll be very late for a very tall woman's birthday party. And we can't have that.
Certainly. Well, then our best hunters shall escort you out of the capital and toward the teleportation dais. And I think we get like a montage of exactly that occurring, right? Like all of you gathering your belongings, gathering your bags, saying your final goodbyes to the people here in Kinongbo, getting an escort out of the city. I think on the edge of the city, there's like a whole goodbye party, like from all the grateful people of Kinongbo, like waving bye to all of you at the base of the hill, as all of you are in like various, I think in a caravan, with various Kinongban riders flanking you. And I think like on the edge of that fence, we also see Xingxian, who has decided to stay for a little bit instead of returning to his mother immediately, right? Also sort of like awkwardly waving, with Zephyr as well, with like a big arm, feathered hand waving at your party. And why don't the four of you tell me, just sort of generally speaking, on your way back toward the dais, how do you pass the time?
Voska, I think, just spends her time being a little bit more lighthearted with everybody and really kind of just like gushing over how cute Dr. Eluso and Oka are, but keeping a distance. There's a silent shipper at the back of the cart, you know? And I do really like the idea of like, just like maybe there are times where Voska like sits up and speaks with Sitlali about everything that's happened and just kind of like processing everything they've just gone through. And slumber parties, like Team Jukai slumber party, real maybe, and it's not weird and tense. Would love that actually. And I think that's how Voska spends her time for the most part and finishes writing that story.
I love that. Let's go to Sitlali next.
I think Sitlali is, for the most part, curled up in Mercy's lap journaling feverishly in Raven speech. So I don't think Mercy knows Raven speech. I hope Mercy doesn't know Raven speech. And at some point, Sitlali is keeping a very close eye on Dr. Eluso. Sitlali has not shared a key piece of information with anyone about Dr. Eluso. And Sitlali casts Sending, just kind of reaches out, tugs on a little piece of the weave that they need, to Voska, and says, "Doctor, not what they seem. True sight shows something dark lurking. Subtle, careful, not much time."
Voska, there's a heavy pause before Voska responds with, "When we've returned, let us speak, just you and I."
And there is a subtle nod. And I think at some point to Dewey, Sitlali asks about cargo shorts, and not specifically cargo shorts, but like how do pants work? Do you know how to make pants? Is that a thing? Where do you get the cargo short? Like how do I get pants that fit me? Because I'm thinking maybe I need to change, and they kind of like gesture to the like peach fuzz, and they're like, pants? I don't, what do you make things, but you're not an architect, but like what, do you have like a title? Like,
maker of all sorts, but oh my god, I'm so glad you asked about pants. The changeling thing, and like being different heights and needing different like lengths of pants. Oh my god, I got you. And he hands over a pair of like these pants that have multiple zip off segments. Just an idea.
Not the Kingdom Hearts zipper pants for Sitlali.
I think Sitlali considers the pants. These are an idea. What is a zipper?
And I think if it's all right with you, Quinn, I think on that, we're gonna cut over to Dewey and how Dewey spends his time.
I think one night when they're all in their bedrolls, Dewey approaches, I think Oka at first, and he's got like a toolbox, but it's not his normal toolbox, and it's kind of like brightly colored. And he sits down and he gestures to Oka's braid, and it's like, do you mind if I...
Are you gonna make it robotic so it can grab stuff?
No, I could if you... No.
No. Still getting used to it even existing.
And Dewey opens this box, and it's got multiple layers, and it's got like little multicolored hair things in it. It's a caboodle, right? Is that what they're called? Yeah. And if it's all right, he like undoes the elastic at the bottom and like sort of brushes it out. And he's showing Oka how to do like end-of-volume braiding. He's like, this way, like the pieces won't fall out as easily. I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't know if you want to keep the braid long term. It's just something I picked up when I was doing Hana's hair.
And I think Oka kind of like just relaxes into it, and they're like, "You're gonna have to keep braiding. It's really long, and I really can't see what you're doing, so you can just keep doing it for me."
Oh yeah, give me like 2 minutes, and then I'll get to the part, and I'll bring it around, and maybe you can finish it off. I don't know. Maybe you have magic to do that.
No, it's okay. I don't mind when you do it.
All right, it's been a moment since I've done this, so bear with me. The top is messy, but you don't have to look at the top, luckily. So.
Hey, Mercy, the ends that you tried to cut for your hair, the back.
Yeah, what's up?
Looks terrible. Let me fix it.
Are you just gonna criticize with an... Oh, all right, okay, cool. All right, come over here if you're just gonna talk shit about my hair. Yeah, let's see you fix it.
No, you have to sit in front of me. Dewey's doing my hair.
Oh my god, what is this? A little daisy chain of little babies doing their baby hair. Okay, yeah, fine, whatever, I want that. Okay.
Just sit.
Shut up. And I think that's a good place for us to transition up to Oka.
Oka's still sleeping quite a bit, I think, in the back of the wagon still. But now when they're awake, instead of obsessively reading Shuhai Miao's diary and losing their, sense of self and identity the closer they got to Kinongbo, it's kind of like the other way around. They're settling into their own new existence, testing the odd limitations of their body, their wings, the blood halo that never seems to go away, the way it spins. And I think they do eventually, all together one night, after Dewey has braided their hair, when they're starting to get closer and closer to the teleportation dais that will eventually bring them home, getting closer and closer to the star. I think they do have a passing thought, and they pull out Shuhai Miao's diary. And they flip to the end where before there had been blank pages. Have they been filled?
Every single page is filled. The story of the past Paragon's odd victory over the stranger, the story of the great rebuilding, the story of Shuhai meeting Sagu, living a life together, loving each other, Shuhai's final days with Sagu. And I think at the very end of this diary, the final passage is a note to you that Shuhai leaves. And I won't read the passage in its entirety now. We'll have to check journals later. But the last sentence of the passage reads, "Just remember, if you can change, anything can." And I think on that, we go to black. And we open on a massive laboratory. Alabaster tile, glass tubes frothing with strange liquids, the acrid scent of chemicals. Arcane sigils sprawl across the floor like the veins of a tree, spooling up, a flight of rigid stairs until they terminate in a perfect circle atop an elevated dais. And sitting in the middle of that circle, surrounded by all these arcane symbols, is Lilith. She's sitting casually, one ankle propped on top of a knee, leaning backward, almost like she's getting ready to be sketched by an artist. But as she's sitting there, she's sort of running, I think, these bony fingers through her thin, washed out, kind of white blonde hair. And as she pushes some of it back out of her forehead, she addresses the man finishing the ritual around her, Adam, who's on his hands and knees, I think, swiping blood across the sigils, feeding them with his own life force. No, Adam, my little ugly duckling. Can I trust you to do what needs to be done when Adolin begins? Of course you can, Lilith. This is what both of us have been working toward this entire time, is it not? It is. I'll be busy for 8 days and 8 nights, as you know, and I figure the thorn in our side is only going to keep getting to us, so do try to intercept, or better yet, kill them before they get here. I won't be able to take care of the business myself, so I'll have to count on you. Don't worry, Lilith. I won't let you down. And we are going to close the session on that and the arc for our Jukai group. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been your GM and creative producer, Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me all across the internet at ByConnieChild, BYCONNIECHANG. I'm going to pass along introductions up and over to Quinn.
I am Quinn. I hate Adam so fucking much. My Sitlali's nemesis. I'm Quinn. They, them. Buy my shit. I've been your Sitlali. They, she. Just feral about the one man. And it's this fucking man. Good arc, y'all. Good arc. I'm fine. I just want to murder him so badly. It's fine. He doesn't go, fucking, it's fine. Check me out on Twitter at Quintastic_. And I'll pass introductions over to Valiant Dorian.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dorian. You see him, his pronouns. I'm a TTRPG performer and Twitch variety streamer. You see him, his pronouns. And I have the distinct pleasure of playing Voska, Paragon, and Nebuza, who uses she, they pronouns. Our College at Sea Bard, who's laughing more and more. And what a great arc, y'all. What a great arc. You can find me on the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just sent you all on. I do cool shit sometimes. Now I'm going to pass introductions over to Max.
Hey, I'm Max. My pronouns are they, them. I play Dewey. Has to live through the finale stranger battle because he has a hot date on the other side. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok doing my dance and other stuff at Starchmonger. That's my handle. And I'll pass it to C.
Hey everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay on the internet at PieSharpArt. If this is the final episode, you should go check out fan art share in the Discord or my Twitter if you want to see what Paragon Oka looks like. Because I'm sure at this point I have drawn it. I haven't yet, but I will in the future. From where this is from. If you didn't know, I played Paragon Oka, who uses they, them pronouns, who wants to live. Bitch, I lived, is what they want to say after the stranger battle. So tune in for our next, what an arc. I can't believe we cried, screamed about being gay. There were kisses and lore. Perfect episode. Chef's kiss. And that's been me. Check me out. See what else I'm up to. I'm up to lots, but I am also up to this. So, Connie, take it away.
You got it. So next week is going to be the grand finale of the entire arc with the Morose group. They're fighting V's dad, Boogie Woogie Woogie. He's a literal ancient white dragon that they're confronting in his lair. He is 15,000 years old, so good luck to them. Well, I get my TPK on that side. We'll see. Love you all so much. We're going to be rating someone really awesome right now, no doubt. So give them a follow if you like their stuff. Use the raid message in chat regardless. Rep Transplanar in chat. I love when people use the raid message in chat. Please do it. I love you so much. We'll see you on the flip side with the Arc 6 interlude and Arc 7, bitch. Arc 7 is coming. It's going to be unhinged. Goodbye. We love you. Good night. And Bijo for the final time with this group of people. Bijo.